Recently in the news, there's been a story that you probably have seen on television or what have you about a fire damaging a lot of stuff, offices and supplies and so on and so forth, at an organization called 1 in 10. And that's 1, the letter N, and then 10. And so you've probably seen enough about the news story. We won't go into that much. But we do want to tell you about the organization and get a chance to get acquainted in case you're not familiar with the organization. They've got a new home that they're working on, and which was timely, and we'll talk about that. But please, let's welcome from 1 in 10, Linda Elliott, Executive Director. Nice
Hello.
to have you with us. Good to have you here. And the Director of Finance, Nate Roten.
Hi, Marty.
Good to have you back.
Thank you.
Well, just briefly, when this fire took place in the office, as I said, people have probably seen it on TV and so forth. But you were getting ready for your big outdoor camp experience. Did you get to do that?
Well, it hasn't come up yet.
Oh, it's still in the process.
Yeah, we'll be holding it the first week in September in northern Arizona. So we're, trying to catch up and get all prepared for that.
Oh, that's good. I didn't realize that. I thought maybe you had missed it. But that's great because that means that you still need donations. People can help you.
That's right.
So we'll get to that. So let's talk about the organization. Let people know what 1 in 10 is.
1 in 10 provides programs and services for LGBTQ youth aged 14 to 24. Although at that camp you just referenced, we serve youth 11 to 24.
Okay.
We have a youth center, and we have 6 satellites around the state. Actually, we just opened a satellite in Flagstaff. We have one in Queen Creek, Glendale, Scottsdale, Mesa,
Tempe.
and Tempe.
I had to think about it to remember them all. Well, that's a good sign that you're growing if you can't immediately remember where they all were. Okay, so what kind of services are you providing?
Well, in addition to just the drop-in centers that we have where the youth can come and be in a safe place, we have what we call Q High, which is an online high school diploma program for those youth that haven't been able to adjust to a traditional school or have been bullied, that sort of thing. So actually, when we move into our new location, we'll be able to go from 15 enrolled youth in Q High every semester up to 36. So greatly expand that program. We also have a supportive housing program for homeless youth. We provide them with a studio unit, case management, bus pass, employment assistance, that kind of thing. We have a workforce development program that help teach youth financial literacy, how to write a resume, how to behave and dress when they're seeking employment or if they're employed. And then we also have a lot of just fun activities along with leadership development, empowerment. So we try to be there and be supportive to the youth in whatever they need.
Now, you mentioned homeless. What is there a percentage like of the kids that we're talking about that are homeless and some live at home but just need some help?
Well, of our youth?
Yes.
About 30% of the youth who access our services are homeless or unstably housed. But interestingly, of all youth who are homeless, 40% of them are LGBTQ.
Oh.
They're only maybe 8% of the population, but 5 times that number are what make up the homeless youth in communities across America.
Well, 1 in 10. Explain the name.
Well, it's I said 8%, but traditionally people have said there's about 1 in 10 are gay or lesbian, bisexual, or transgender.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, Nate, we were talking about homeless kids, and this is an issue right now with support lessening for these programs and the need going up.
Absolutely, and we've seen this across the country, but particularly here in Arizona. Phoenix is the highest need city for opportunity youth, so youth that if we don't do something to help them, they are potentially going to experience homelessness, job instability, and those things. So our programs have become even more critical and important. We've found that funding, particularly for our programs, but also for some of our other collaborative partners, continues to decline. So we're seeing that we have less offerings offering for housing, yet our wait list continues to increase. This is an incredible problem across our state, and we need sustainable funding at the state and city levels in order to accomplish what they've done for veterans homelessness and family homelessness.
Now, is this declining rate of support, is this specific to the community, or is it just everybody? And when I say the community, I mean LGBTQ.
I would say
right?
it's specific to.
I always get that wrong.
Right,
But
it's
I know
specific
what it is.
to youth homelessness in general.
Oh, okay.
For whatever reason, and I believe that a lot of youth that are experiencing homelessness aren't as visible as some of our other homeless communities. For many of them, they couch surf, they're staying with families, or the statistic says that within 3 days of experiencing homelessness, a youth will be sex trafficked. So they have a lot of other issues that then remove them from the streets, so they're not as visible, and it's not front and center in people's minds. But yet, if we can interject now and change that trajectory so that they find stable housing and get the support they need, we end that cycle of homelessness,
Well, I think
which
Let
is
me
expensive.
just correct one thing there.
Yeah.
Actually, when a youth hits the street, they'll be solicited for sex within 2 to 3 days, and many of those who have been solicited will then end up being sex
Thank you.
trafficked.
Yeah, but so they're not automatically
Right.
Right,
yeah.
right.
But it does make the point that if you're 16 years old and you don't have any marketable skills or know what to do with whatever skills you might have, that's can be the only thing left. Well, let's talk about the fact that this organization, obviously doing good work, got struck a blow with this fire. But the fact is that you were already in the process of moving to a new location.
That's correct, and we hope to be open, construction, but the first week in September with a completed new center, which will be 47% larger than the one that we left. So we're very much looking forward to that. It's in a great location right on a light rail stop, and the youth at our old center had to walk about 5 blocks. Think of that in 110 degrees.
Yeah.
And so this new center will be right on the light rail stop.
It's actually at the Parsons Center for Health and Wellness. And, good Lord, how do we ever run a city without the Parsons family before? I guess. But they've done so much to help people, particularly people who are going through medical things and homelessness as well.
Yes, and they've supported our housing program in a big way, and our camp, and certainly they're helping in the building of the new center that we're moving into.
Right. So the center, you may know, if you've been around for a while, you may know it as the old Channel 12 building there on Central Avenue, just north of Roosevelt. And as you said, there's the light rail stop right there, which is convenient. There are other organizations there, as well as the Southwest Center for HIV and AIDS, Aunt Rita's Foundation moving in there as well. And I'm guessing that Aunt Rita's Foundation gives money to your organization.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
And so we'll put in a plug for
We
them.
provide HIV prevention services to our youth, and we're one of the member agencies of Aunt Rita's.
Yeah. So, we mentioned the fact that you've still got the camp coming up in September, and you can't go to camp without a lot of things. So tell me some of the things that you need.
We need sleeping bags, water bottles, pillows.
For many of our youth, they've never been camping, or the camping they've experienced has not been inclusive of LGBT. And so we want to provide them with everything they need to make sure that it's a positive experience. This is our 10th year for camp. We take 150 youth from all over the country and give them a free, inclusive, positive camp experience.
How long do they go to camp?
4 days.
4 days.
It's amazing
That's
what
good.
can be accomplished in 4 days.
Yeah, 4 days. That's a lot, actually.
And by the way, it's very interesting, but we don't allow them to have their electronics with them at camp. And that initially is a huge challenge.
I bet.
But very quickly, they get so engulfed in all the activities and friendships that they're making that they end up, it's easy for me to say, but they end up not missing them that much once they're into the camp activities.
Well, that could certainly be one of the most important things they'll learn is it's possible to live without your iPhone. Okay, so now let's say people want to. I'm just looking at a list here. There's we mentioned like bedrolls, but other things like plastic cutlery, paper towels, Ziploc bags, things like that. Deodorant, shaving cream, shampoo, conditioner, outdoor stuff like for camping, anything like that. Where can people drop those off?
They can drop them off at the Parsons Center for Health and Wellness. They can also, that list, by the way, is on our Facebook page, and it's also on our website. We also have a Amazon wish list, which they can just go straight to Amazon and
order it, have it sent,
and it comes straight to us.
That's a great way to do it. All right, what's the website?
www.onenten.org.
Okay, so no hyphens in there, no dashes,
Right.
just the onenten.org.
ONENTEN.
The word one. Yeah, we have to say that because otherwise I'll put the number. Thank you so much for what you do for a very vulnerable part of our population. It's really appreciated. I'm really happy to see you moving into a new home. That's a wonderful place. They've done an amazing job of, renovating isn't quite enough. I mean, they just completely took the old building and made it into a brand new building, and so it's really a nice place. And again, if people want to help, ONEN10.org. Spell out the numbers, and you'll get it. And you'll be helping, and those donations will be appreciated. But hurry, because they got to get the kids off to camp pretty soon. And thank you so much for joining us on Valley Views.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Marty.
Thank you.